Hello, my friend. I welcome you today to the introduction of energy healing. I hope that you find it beneficial. My intention to create this presentation is to bring clarification and information to the public about what energy healing is. I'm not going to be talking specific about any modality. I'm just simply going to talk about just the process of healing through energy. And why is that? Well, I see that there's a lot of information out there about different holistic practices. But when I see what's being posted by individuals, I can also perceive that there's a lot of misinformation. And that misinformation is confusing and detrimental to those who actually are interested in engaging in an alternative protocol. But when they receive that information, they get confused and even scared. So let me go and start explaining what energy healing is all about. Please know that this is only my perception based on my experience, my practice, and my desire, need to always be constantly learning about this process. So I'm sharing everything with you. Let's get started. So what is energy healing? Energy healing is everything that helps shift the energy in someone's body and bring wellness to and balance to it. There are many types of energy healing modalities. There's pranic healing, the body code, the emotion code, there's Reiki, there's the global energy healing. There's a bunch of those type of energy healing modalities, but they all work with the same basic concept. And the first is that it is a non-invasive, drug-free method or alternative to health and wellness. The foundation stems from the belief that the body has an innate ability to heal itself, and that all disease and body imbalance have an emotional root. It also helps achieve balance in a person, an animal, and a physical space. In present times, energy healing is considered an alternative protocol for health and wellness. However, it's a very, very old practice that you can see documented in ancient books, and one of them being the Bible. With the development of Western medicine, energy healing became something foreign for humanity. It became something strange, weird, and mysterious. And to this day, there's a lot of people that fear working with energy because they believe it's something from the dark and dark forces. And it is not really that. It's just something that is unknown. And with this presentation, I want to bring light into that process because it's amazingly transformative to those who actually engage in an energy healing protocol, specifically when they create a journey, because the more we work on ourselves, the better the results. So one of the major questions I always hear people ask is energy healing against my faith? And usually it comes from a lot of Christians, because this is, where I am surrounded more by Christians. And they're very concerned that it goes against the Bible, or it goes against what the preacher says, or it goes against what their cultural upbringing is. And I understand that completely. At one point, I was kind of curious about this and wasn't sure to move further. And maybe that's why it took me a few years later, it took me a while to get involved. And a few years later, after those I was exposed to that, I started actually paying attention. What I have to say is that energy healing is for everyone, regardless of your background. This is a work of love. It's a gift from God, from spirit, from source, from the universe. You name that higher power, whatever you want to name it, but it is a gift from that divine power. It is practiced by Christians all around the world. And in fact, there are modalities that have been developed and created by devout Christians. One of them being Dr. Bradley Nelson, who created the body code and the emotion code, and also Lisa Ramos and her husband, Rigo, who are the creators of the global energy method. They're both, the three of them are devout Christians. And Lisa and Rigo are actually ministers or pastors at a church. So they are all devout, looking always for divine guidance. And one way or the other, they actually became enlightened and created the protocols for this process, for their own processes, for each of their experience programs. People from all backgrounds and faith do practice healings and gain wellness through energy healing modalities. In my practice, I have Hindus, I have agnostics, I have Jewish, and even have Muslims. So they're very conservative. Many of these people are very conservative. They do their research before they engage in a healing, and they ask a lot of questions, and they find that there's nothing detrimental or against their faith. On the contrary, it just helps them stay connected to the divine power that guides them. This is why energy healing is a process of enlightenment. It takes a while. It's mostly it's a lifetime process for those of us who practice it frequently. But it is, the more you practice, the better your control of your emotions, the better the contributions you make to society. Okay, so let's get going. So people who practice the arts of energy healing, the practitioners, the healers themselves, are all heart-centered healers. And they have always this specific passion to grow spiritually, to being connected to God. So they all look within their own backgrounds, with their own religions, with their own beliefs. They always look to be and grow more, to be spiritual, to be better, to grow more, because their goal is to heal themselves first so they can help others experience the same joy and peacefulness and abundant life that they experience. Energy healing also works like an intercessory prayer. This is because when we connect to your subconscious, you not necessarily need to be present. Some people like to be present in person. Some people do it through Zoom or video meetings, and others just simply go on through their day. They book their schedule, they book their session. I, as a practitioner, sit down, do my session with them, and they go on with their day. And this is why we always see energy healing, and a session being like an intercessory prayer. And one of the things that is very important to understand is that nothing wrong can be obtained from an energy healing session. Only healing, only a release and a feeling of joy, relaxation, and expansion. One point I want to reiterate here, and I want people to understand, I want the public to understand, that there's nothing negative that will ever come from an energy healing session. If the intention of an energy healing session is of ill will, then nothing will happen. If you come here with the intent to hurt someone or have revenge, or move in an area that is negative, I can tell, and the session will not happen. Or I will call you up and I will work on your energy just to make sure that we dissipate the root of that ill will. that can happen. But if you're doing the work on yourself, if you happen to know how to do this work and you're doing it to hurt someone to have your benefit, it will not happen. And that is why I want you to be clear and aware that energy healing, all the energy healing modalities, at least the ones I have been exposed to, the intent is to help you, which in turn will benefit others, because nothing negative will come from this process. Okay, so I hope you understand this, and I know I was a little bit repetitive, but it's very important that you understand where we stand when it comes to energy healing. So, what are the benefits of an energy healing session? What do we gain? Well, first of all, you have nothing to lose. Let's say that 80% of the time, I'm not sure of the percentage, but it's between 80 and 90% of the time, people that come to an energy healing session, they come because they are already about to give up in life or already giving up in life. So they have been dealing with chronic pains, chronic conditions, um, toxic relationships, frustrated at work, finances are not and where they should be. Um, anything you can think of negative that happens in the world, they have been experiencing it. They're giving up, they're tired, they're not going to try anymore. And then someone shows up in their life and suggests, why don't you go to an energy healer? Practice an energy healing modality. There's nothing to lose. And when they do, they find themselves wondering why they didn't start it sooner. They find that their immune system is stronger. They find in their body, especially those chronic pains, they soothe, and at times they report that they even disappear. They find their relationships improving, and sometimes they even find joyful love, romantic love, and improvement in relationships with their parents, their siblings, and even their children. They also find that they have clarity of mind and clear direction on what they want to do in life. And they find that all this is because they are experiencing abundance. Their abundance is activated, and they start finding that there's a reason to live and be happy in this world. When this happens, it raises the consciousness, the world's consciousness. Why does it raise the world consciousness? Because when one person is vibrating at a higher frequency, at a higher vibration, then they actually contribute to make others feel better. They guide them, they offer the same type of care and help. And sometimes even just by existing and being by their side, the others feel better. And it's a rippling effect. And last but not least, when you actually start healing and start detaching and letting go of all the negative baggage that you have, now you have room to enjoy and look deeper within you. You enjoy life, you look deeper with you, and you start creating a connection to divine source. That higher power that created us is there, and you're actually starting to develop a connection with that power. Where does the information come from? How does a practitioner healer finds the information? Well, first of all, they're connected to a higher power. Every practitioner starts their session with a prayer, a silent prayer. Sometimes you don't even know it's happening. Sometimes they do it minutes before they connect with you, before they start working with you. But they ask for divine guidance. They ask for source consciousness to be the guide. So God, source, universe, that's source consciousness, and they guide you through the process, or they guide us, like me, through the process. So the process is that we access connection to the subconscious mind. And for this to happen, we need to have permission from the client. We are not going to connect with someone's subconsciousness unless we have been granted permission. So don't worry, no one's going to be tapping into your subconscious unless they have permission. The healer practitioner also uses their senses to perceive and receive information. They use the senses to confirm information. The most common way to confirm information is using applied kinesiology or muscle testing. And if you want to learn a little bit of muscle testing, I do have a clip that I created, and it's on my Facebook group, Healing Firefly Community. You can look for it there in, I think it's in the files, but you can find it there. There's not a lot there, so you can find it easy. And also, a lot of us have a heightened intuition. I was someone that knew things beforehand without knowing that I knew, or that I was intuitive. When I was young, I would get, I wasn't going to say get messages, but it was more of I knew things. I just knew what was going to happen. Things would happen, would not surprise me. And often I would have dreams, and a few dreams that I had happened just like I dreamed it, exactly just as it was happening. So yes, we come with heightened intuition, and I personally learned how to use it after I started doing this work. But I wasn't aware of that gift. But I right now, I'm able to use it in a way to help others find balance and joy in this life. Others may not feel that they're intuitive or may not be as intuitive, but they actually develop their intuition as they delve deep into the work. And also with those that are intuitive too, you get sharper as the more you do this work. So yes, you don't have to be intuitive, you don't have to be completely intuitive, but the truth is that every one of us, everyone in the world has an ability to be intuitive. But if you are not open or not aware of it, you can still do this type of work, because you can also always use muscle testing as your way to confirm the information you receive. Once again, I want to reiterate that any healing modality is used for good and never, ever will be of harm to anyone else. So it's always for the good and well-being of others.
Here is a list of some of the modalities available to you. I work with Reiki, the emotion code, the body code, the global energy method, and compassion key. What's important here is not the modality, but that you are the active participant in your healing journey. You are key to your own healing. We have arrived to the end of this presentation. I invite you now to visit my website, healingfirefly.com, or to visit me also on social media, on Facebook and Instagram under the handle @HealingFirefly. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, and you will find a link to my messenger account directly on my website, healingfirefly.com. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you.